right, so Next Level Fit Podcast, we're back again. This is programming part 2. I'm your host, Coach Stanley,
Coach Luster,
Coach Matt,
and Coach Austin. All right, so today we're actually going to go a little bit more extensive into the how we program for class. So remember, this is only for our group fitness classes programming because, and even with that, it's a little extensive. So I got 3 whiteboards behind us, and we're going to actually sit here and we're going to talk about each phase that it goes through to get to the point that we need to get to. All right, so very extensive. Get your pen and paper out. Pause the video if you have to, because I'm going to try to talk, or we're going to try to talk really slow because there's a lot of math that's involved. If you know how to work Excel and you want to use this type of programming to fit for your boot camps or whatever you have, pause it, all right? Because it's going to be a lot, all right? A lot of math. If you're not that great at Excel, start writing now, all right? So, but we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition first, how nutrition is affected with how we program. So even with our group fitness classes, obviously, the main goal with them is weight loss and also trying to gain lean muscle. So macros will change. They will go up or down depending on the person and their goals, as well as the way the programming is actually programmed for that cycle. All right, so I'm gonna let Matt take that away.
So as far as macros go, each person's macro is going to be different. So depending upon your goals, weight loss, weight gain, like Santuan said, your macros will go up or down. And then depending upon what type of programming you actually do, whether it's weightlifting, if you're doing class, if you're doing a cardio-based workout, if you're a runner, if you're just a lifter, your macros will change depending on what type of workouts you do. And in order to figure out your macros and which macros work for you and what you got to up your carbs or lower your carbs or up your fats, lower your fats, I'm going to have to sit down with you and talk to you personally about it, figure out what you're eating to start, how long you're working out, how intense your workouts are, you know, what type of workouts you're doing. Like I said, it's all going to change. If you're a power lifter, like most of Santuan's clients he has here in his club and stuff, your macros are going to jump pretty high compared to what you're normally intaking at the beginning of your program before you start to do your cut if you got to lose weight in order to get to your class. You're just going to need more food in your body for energy in order to do your major lifts at 80, 90%. And he'll go with a lot of percentages later on, but the higher the percentage, the more food you're actually going to need to work out. So your macros will go up, and then they will drop down. So having your macros change month to month is probably the best way to get the best results. And in order to do that, we got to sit down and figure out your starting point and what works best for you to start.
Cool. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of these whiteboards.
Whiteboard street coaches.
Yep. And we're gonna talk to you about. Let's zoom in a little bit here.
Oh snap!
Look good.
You need to sit down, homie. You too tall.
My bad. I'm gonna get low. I'm gonna talk to you about pretty much the month, how the month's gonna look here. So we kind of talked about this last week. Whereas these are the kind of lifts we do. We got explosive lifts. We got the upper push, the upper pull, the lower push, and the lower pull. So this is the percentages we work off of for each one. So like the explosive lifts, we do 20%. Lower push, we do 25%. Lower pull, we do 25%. The upper push and pull, we do 15% each. So once we figure out those percentages, we do 50. Let's say we're doing 3-week programming. The first week we'll do 1,500 reps. The second week we'll do 1,750, and the final week we'll do 2,000. So for that first week of programming, based off this percentage and off the 1,500 reps, we're doing, for the explosive lift, we'll do 300 reps total. So jumping in to that next week, you'll see that'll be about 66 reps for week 1, just for the explosive lifts. For the push and for the lower pushing and the lower pull, we're doing 25%. So based off that 1,500 reps, we're doing 375 reps total for the entire. That's the entire month. So that 375 will get broken down into week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Santuan to go into a little bit more depth about the specific percentages for each week You can kind of see him up here at the top, but he'll break it down a little bit more. So down to the upper push and upper pull, based off that same total and those same percentages, the 15%, we're doing 225 reps per week. I meant total of the total weeks from week 1 to week 4. All right, and Santuan's going to go into a little bit more depth about each week.
All right, so like he said, that was just for like say we're starting the first month of a cycle. The first month of the cycle, so usually say it could be anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 reps, but say we're just for this instance of this video, we're just starting with 1,500 reps, and then we kind of go into 1,750 and then to 2,000 to complete a cycle. So with that being explained, that was just 1 month, and they showed all those numbers off of that. And I'm going to take that, and I'm only going to show you 1 week. Okay, so because it, obviously based off the percentages, you can change it however you need to for each week. But I'm just going to show you, just for time purposes, we're going to just explain 1 week and then the 3 days out of the week. So with usually with strength days, sometimes you can do 4 days or more for strength training. But say for this time purposes, we're only doing 3 days a week for our strength training for the cardio classes, for the group fitness classes. So once again, we're still using the same 5 different movements, those same percentages where it was 20, 25, 25, 15, and 15. Okay, so from there, we're gonna go into week 1, day 1, day 2, day 3. All right. So to start, let me start over just a little bit. So off those percentages of the 1,500, each week has a different percentage, so you know how to get the rest of the reps. So just based off this percentage right here, you're going 22 right here, 22% for week 1. Then week 2, you'll go 28%. Week 3, you'll go 32%. And then week 4, obviously, sometimes, majority of the time, it will be a deload week, and we'll go 18. Now, for this program, this is just a linear style program. Sometimes we can do an undulated style program where maybe this week will be 22, week 2 could be actually the 32 week, and then week 3 will be 28, and then week 4 would be 18. So, but for this purposes, this is just a linear program as it's going straight up and down. All right. So week 1, so we're saying we got 22% of the 1,500 reps of these percentages. All right. So day 1 percentages, these percentages down here should equal 100 when you're doing your math. All right. So for day 1 of week 1, it should be 34% of your reps. Day 2 should be 42%. And then day 3 should be 24%. Obviously, you have to do a little bit of math if you're adding more days for strength training. But like I said, for this purposes, it's only 3 days. So this right here, if you do the math, that equals 100. All right. If you do the math here for your weeks, this should equal 100 as well. At any time your percentages do not equal 100, you're doing it wrong. All right. So make sure you're doing your math. Like I said, if you're not great with Excel, learn to use how to use a calculator. Go back to school or something. I don't know. But anyway, day 1. So 20% with 34% percentage in mind of the 1,500 reps, you're going to get 22 reps. All right. Some of these reps are going to look real kind of weird. You're going to be like, how I'm going to get, I don't know, like 17 reps in a day for a certain exercise. Well, obviously, we're going to explain that in a little bit. But we're going to do 22 reps here for explosive on day 1, 28 for a posterior chain and squat, so that's your lower body push and your lower body pull. And then 17 and 17 for your upper body press and your upper body pull. So that's day 1. That equals out 112.2 reps altogether. So obviously with this was macroed out, so that's where the points are coming in there from. This has actually been rounded up, so this was probably something else where it was. Day 2, 28, 35, 35, 21, 21. All right. Day 3, 16, 20, 20, 12, 12. So just like the weeks, you had a deload week, same thing inside the week of the days. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the reps go down as we go to Friday. They go up on Wednesday, go back down on Friday. All right. And then overall, you have 66 reps here. So when you add all your days of your explosive, you got 66. All of your squat / lower body push, 83. Same thing with your posterior chain or your lower body pulls, 83. Upper body presses, upper body pulls, 50. all right? And that gives you 330. That number should look very familiar based off of his other board. We said we were gonna have 330 reps total for week 1, all right? And that's how you see that right there, all right? Obviously, with this video purposes, if you need me to explain it a little bit more, email me, message me, Next Level Fit, and I can actually sit down and break this down even more. I can give you a phone call, whatever. I'm more than willing to help you out with this, trying to do this program. I mean, at first it is a little bit confusing, so I will take the time to explain it a little bit more if you want to actually use this program. Because this is actually a very smart way to make sure you're not overloading your clients. You got to remember, with doing boot camps and group fitness classes, most of the time they're not athletes or trying to be very competitive. They're just trying to come to you to lose weight or gain lean muscle. So there's no point of overloading them or training them extra hard. Or I've even heard some coaches be like, I'm gonna do this Marine style training. Well, if they're not a Marine or never was a Marine, why are you training them that way? There's absolutely no point. Be smart, stick to the basics, and you'll get the job done. You can check out my results with my clients and see that it does work. All right. So now Coach Austin is going to go into how we actually do a certain day with those reps that I was just talking about.
All right, y'all. Let me get this board.
Whiteboard started.
The whiteboard. Here we go. So with this whiteboard, now I'm going to go in detail about kind of like the exercises, how we can get each rep into each exercise, okay? So usually if you watch the last podcast, we talked about how we do like a total body movement, then maybe either like a upper pull, upper push, and then maybe some kind of core movement as kind of our tricep going on. So let me show you this first circuit right here, circuit A. So with DB cleans, that's our total. I remember when we looked at the board, it said, oh, we gotta get 22 reps for day 1. So, wait, it says 5 to 6 reps. How do we get 22 to 5 to 6? That doesn't make sense unless you do some math right here. So we have 4 sets going, 4 sets for either 5 or 6 reps. So you can either hit about 20 reps or 24 reps. Need be, because it is you can't hit 5.5 reps. It's a little weird. Trust me, half reps don't count.
Very true.
It's true. And then here we go. And then we add some band pull parts. Here we go. Upper pull right there. And then I'm going to take you down to just this next circuit, just show you again, like we got DB goblet squats, 4 sets of 7 to 8. So really when we think about if you're going to round up on your reps or round down on your reps, I tend to tell people it's a more feeling thing, especially when if you didn't meet your macros, or you're not feeling well, or you feel very lethargic, or you're not making any of your push and pulls because you don't have the nutrients to help to get you through your workout, then you probably should go lower. You don't want to overexert yourself and then risk passing out or injuring yourself because you couldn't get the carbs and the proteins and the fats in for that day. But if you're feeling it, go up, but don't go overboard where you start going more reps than you're supposed to go. And then here we go with C, DB single arm shoulder press. As you can tell, it's in the name, it's a press, it's an upper press right there. So basically, if you look at our last podcast, you can mix it up between doing total and then doing an upper and then a lower, or upper torso. I mean, you can play around with it, but as long as you keep the reps and the sets where you're hitting your numbers for that day and for that week, you're good, and as well as you're not going too crazy in terms of, they gotta do 40 reps today because I didn't incorporate an upper pull or a lower press. You gotta make sure you get your numbers right and also incorporate different exercises so you're not overexerting yourself or doing anything crazy like that.
One thing I'm going to add with this too. If you notice right here, I do have like some things in parentheses. This is actually comes in handy if y'all know strength coach Cal Dietz, that's been with Minnesota, won several championships, and now I think he's working with USA as far as their Olympic team, as far as their strength coach with certain things, and not necessarily with their weightlifting, but I think with certain certain teams that they have up there at the training facility. He talks a lot a bit about tri-physic training. And we use that a lot with our training. So pretty much that's just messing with the time under tension with certain exercises. So I like to do that a lot when we have lighter reps. So like if you got 4 sets of 4 or 5 reps, if we're doing right here on single arm presses or with the dumbbell rows. So the dumbbell rows had a 3-second pause. So usually this is eccentric, this is iso, and this is concentric right here. All right. So so with the press, we did 3 seconds on the way down, 2-second pause, and then you press it straight up. All right. So how that looks, you got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, boom. Time under tension. All right. So we're controlling that muscle while we have lighter reps. It's a good thing to do. So it's a good way to build muscle. So if you especially if you have clients that are like, oh man, I need to do like 15, I need to do 20 reps, and you can like, no. We can do less reps, do time under tension, and still get the same amount of work. All right. So that's a little physics for you there. But that pretty much explains more into detail as far as how we program for class. Obviously, depending on what style of training, what program we're doing at the time can vary. This is our very basic style as far as when we're doing our group fitness classes. That's what we use, the system we use for our strength days versus our cardio days. Obviously, with the cardio days, those are programmed out a certain way as well too, because they will go pretty much linear, or we even have where it will go undulated, where it will be a certain amount or percentage of, say, mileage that we want to run, or amount of laps, amount of shuttles. All that stuff is actually calculated out to make sure that we're not burning people out. Okay. So also another thing as far as with our programming, if you get to our level 2 style of programming, it's a little bit different. The way I program for them, I don't necessarily go off of these sets and reps. I kind of go based off of percentages. So now we're working off, you can probably use the Prelipin system if you want to use that, which you use a certain percentage based off of certain, sorry, my dog is like going nuts. You can use certain percentages for certain weights. Obviously, say like if you're using 80 to 90%, you can hit about 3 to 5 reps with those percentages. Obviously, with 90% hit about 5 reps. As the percentages go up, the reps do go down. So with our level 2 style of training, our programming is slightly different. And I program more with the barbells. We add the barbells in there. So instead of doing dumbbell cleans, they'll actually be learning how to actually clean with the barbell, actually learn how to snatch with the barbell, squatting with the barbell, front squat and back squat. Obviously, the way I like to train people doing the front squat first, building that core, building that stability, and then we'll go to the back squat. Because usually the hardest part for most people is learning how to use a core. So there's a whole cycle of doing front squats before we even get do back squats.
I kind of want to hit on something Austin said when he was explaining the rep ranges. When you're doing your macros, if you have a long day or a busy day at work and you don't hit your macros, or you don't hit your carbs or your fats, depending upon your body and how it works. Some people need higher fats, some people need higher carbs. If you miss out on that throughout the day and you come in here to train and you haven't eaten the last 3 to 4 hours, you're gonna struggle a little bit. So like you said, if you get to the 5 to 6 rep range and you're struggling, lean towards the 5, or if you can't even get that because you're struggling too bad because you haven't eaten it all day, don't tax your body just to hit your reps. If you're not feeling it, don't do it. If it's gonna hurt you, like if you can't do it, like physically can't do it because it hurts, because you're that weak in the day, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Take it off, put the weight down, drop the weight a little bit, and then go back and hit your 5 to 6 reps. It's not about the weight on these lifts. I mean, when you get into it and you get level 2, level 3 percentages, it's about the weight. But at the same time, if the weight hurts, drop the weight and do the right form. Don't hurt your body where you put yourself out for a month or 2 with some stupid pulled muscle because you decide you wanted to lift a couple 100 pounds and just be a big shot in the gym. Like, who cares what you can lift?
Much better.
Like, who cares about the weight?
Much better to like have one day where you couldn't hit it as hard than to injure yourself and go a whole month or 2 months where you just can't lift at all.
Right.
Trust me, I mean, before I had a job at ATI Physical Therapy, and to see some athletes actually come in saying I overexerted myself, I got myself injured, and it's like to return them back to normal is so more taxing than listening to your body, take your time, and like we always preach it. This is not a quick thing. It's like we want to make sure you have the proper form. We want to make sure you have the proper way, the proper technique, and everything, so you don't have to spend 2 months in bed and doing physical therapy and wondering why am I now gaining weight? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Well, it's because you didn't listen to yourself. Anyway.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I like to say is we use a crock pot method. Slow cook, but when it's done, it's the best thing you can put together. We actually take our time learning how to do these reps, learning how to do these sets. It's a very serious matter. It's just not just putting some program together and hoping that magic just happens. It comes with an extensive there's a lot of thought process put in there. It's a lot of time. There's a lot of computer time. I know sometimes if you follow us, we're talking about how we're programming. We're getting a program together, getting something ready for our clients to enjoy. Every day they come in. Yes, it's hard. Yes, but that's training. But you love, when you leave, you're going to love it. You're going to walk out of here, you're going to be laughing, you're going to be smiling because you're happy that it's over, but the next day, you're going to be coming back to conquer the next day. So,
just one more quick thing when you find the percentages for the week. If you do have like the deload week, I know I struggle this a lot. It feels like you're not doing much because you just tax your body for the last 3 weeks. Just do the rep ranges and the weight it tells you. I know it sucks sometimes, but in order not to get hurt after just taxing your body with the higher percentages the week before, just do it.
Yeah, no, I
don't argue with the coaches. It's scientific. It's proven. It actually works.
No, I totally agree because this past so I do powerlifting and I just did between 95 to 100% of my maxes, and last week and now this week I deload, and let's just say I am so happy I have a deload because like my body is sore, my body is tired. It's kind of, and don't ever go into deload week saying, oh, why am I doing this way? I feel stronger. Like I'm going to feel so weak. Trust me, that week is a blessing. And also, I know I've mentioned this in the last podcast, but especially when it comes to like talking about your rep range, we're talking about how you're feeling and all that good stuff. That's where you communicate with us, saying, hey, for some reason I'm not feeling so well today. Like, okay, let's work with the rest, let's work with the weights and see where it goes. Trust me, we're not going to be like drill sergeants barking at you saying, no, you are going to do all 10 reps, you're going to do all 6 reps, you're going to go heavyweight. No, it's like we're going to be here for you guys, and we're going to make sure that we listen to you as long as you're listening to yourself at the same time.
If you don't know how to adjust on those days you're not feeling good, ask one of us. Like, don't just sit there and say, oh, I'm going to do this instead, and end up hurting yourself doing something stupid that makes no sense, that doesn't do even the same body part. Like, ask one of the coaches if you don't know. Like, we're not going to be mad if you ask a question.
That's what we're here for.
So, that was a lot to soak in today. We're going to try to keep it short today. But that kind of concludes our program. I kind of figured out a way to kind of like condense it into a 2 episode series. So like I said, if you want to actually really understand how I get those numbers and how we put it together for a program and how we track it, I got Excels on Excel, spreadsheets on, several different ways I've done this, several different percentages. Like the episode 1, I showed you one set of percentages, and on this one, I showed you another set. So, as long as you're doing the math, and like I was saying earlier, the percentages add up to 100%. So all your 5 movements should add up to 100%. Your months should add up to 100%. Your weeks should add up to 100%. Your days should add up to 100%. As long as they add up to 100%, you're actually going in the right direction. And it's just simple math. All you're doing is multiplying, add, subtract. That's it. That's all you got to do. And like I said, if you're really good at Excel and you know how to macro this whole thing, like I've done, where I don't even think about it anymore. I'm just like, I want to do 2,000 reps this month. I put 2,000 reps in the top box, and then it's all done for me. The only hardest part I got to do is actually program what the exercises are going to be. That's it.
Yep.
And even that's not even that hard because I got an exercise library. I'm like, explosive, boom. It's all simple.
Anything else?
That's it. I'm good.
All right, we're gonna close it out like that. Boom. Programming part 2.
Done.
Next Level Fit podcast. We out.